Hello, it's Family Driver. Welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about this car, my M135i. I had this car for 2.5 years and I've done 25,000 miles in it. As you know, I did many trips overseas and within UK, and I absolutely loved every moment I spent in this car. I drove countless miles to get to the locations and the car behaved absolutely beautiful. It was comfortable on the long journeys. It didn't disappoint me. It didn't make my back pain. It was perfect. And the most important bit, considering a 3-litre engine, it was also very efficient. So as I mentioned before, this car, it's quite efficient when you are cruising on a motorway. So over the last 2.5 years I did 26,000 miles in this car, and I tracked it pretty much since day one, and the average I've got from that period is 28 miles to the gallon. So for example, when I've gone to Scotland or when I've gone to do my European trips, so I went to Swiss Alps, Austria, Italy, on average from the whole trip I usually get about 30 to 31 miles to the gallon. I think the last year's Scotland was about 29.5, which is absolutely perfect. So you basically cruise to your location when the consumption is really low, and then you get to your location and then you open it up, and that when obviously you are losing lots of mpgs, but you get that. The amount of fun this car offers when you're driving it fast is just amazing. You have to learn to drive it because obviously it's a rear-wheel drive, and because of that you have to treat it differently to front-wheel drive or four-wheel drive cars. But it's absolutely brilliant. Once you learn it, once you know its limits, it's absolutely perfect. So it looks like it was actually raining here. So obviously that brings me to another topic, how this car behaves in bad weather conditions. Well, you have to treat it more gentle. However, as long as you keep this car in a comfort setting or even in a sports setting, you're quite safe. This car offers a couple of different modes. There is an eco one which should be banned for being dangerous, because it takes so much of the response that it actually puts you in a dangerous situation, because you're trying to use the power and it's not there. Then there is a comfort mode and sport mode, which basically lets you play a bit more. It lets you sleep a little bit, and it definitely makes your throttle response better. Then there is a Sport Plus mode, which takes away even more of the stability control and turns off your wheel spin systems. So basically, once you're in Sport Plus, it will actually let you spin your wheels. So you can actually press the throttle in a roundabout and it will go sideways. However, the system, the stability control is still there, so it will step in once you reach a certain angle. So I do like this mode, and when you learn your car you definitely appreciate it, because it leaves that safety somewhere in the background, but you don't feel it as much as when you're in sport. Then obviously you can turn off all the systems. Yes, BMW actually allows you to turn off all the systems and you're on your own. So if you're brave enough, you can do that. I usually don't. I usually switch between Sport and Sport Plus. So I use Sport when it's wet, and I use Sport Plus when I know I get good grip. Absolutely love this car. The new suspension and blue spark, it's just perfect combination. So we touched on miles per gallon, it's quite good. We touched on how comfortable the car is, and it's brilliant. And also, it can be your family car. If you don't have too big family, it still can be your family car. I took my family down to Spain in this car, and yes, maybe it wasn't the most comfortable journey, but we managed to pack up everything. I bought a roof racks, and I had a box on the roof because we had plenty of stuff with us. But yes, it can still serve the purpose of a family car as well. The luggage space is quite good. I think it's one of the biggest one actually in the class, compared to S3, compared to Golf R and Seat. It definitely doesn't lag behind. So next question to answer is, how reliable is this car? And it is really reliable, I would say. So when I bought the car, and you can hear more about it in my 1-year review I did a year and a half ago, I had some problems with my steering rack, and that was sorted under warranty. However, since then people developed a fix for it, so I think you can pay like 100 quid to get it fixed for good. And before, it was a warranty job, and if not, it would cost you 2.5 grand, so not a cheap fix. However, like I said, there is a fix for it now, which is very affordable. You don't have to change the whole steering rack. Yeah, that's one problem less. And in fact, that was probably the only thing, the only major thing which happened to this car. Insurance wise, I think it's not as expensive as the cars it would compete with. S3, Golf R, they probably in the same bracket or higher than this one. So that's not really an issue. Tax wise, at the moment, for a manual it's about £280, or about 200 if you're in the automatic. Automatic does more miles to the gallon than manual because it has longer gearing. It has 8 gears instead of 6, and these last 2 gears are really for the motorway, so you run on lower RPMs, therefore you consume less fuel. But who's worried about the consumption in this car? So obviously over the years I did quite a few modifications to this car, and I will leave the link to the video I did only about 2 months ago, listing all my modifications, how much I paid for them, how much I pay extra on insurance for them. So I'll leave the link to that video. But since then, obviously, I got blue spark and I got lowering springs, and I think these 2 modifications, latest modifications, on its own, they completely transformed the car. I think if I would pick most desirable to me of all of my modifications, that would be exhaust and springs, simply because springs will make your car feel different. It will feel more sporty, it will give you more confidence, and it rides better. And the second modification would be exhaust, because I'm very visual and audio person. I love the sound of this car. I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change it. It's M Performance exhaust gives you that beautiful raspy tone, which is very distinct to this specific exhaust. So you can get Remus, and you can get other boxes for it. You can modify your standard box and they will not sound like MPE. The MPE has a very, very nice raspy sound and you just can't fake it. So the big question is, would I buy this car again? Yes, absolutely. I think this is the best value for money on the market. You get fantastic 3-liter straight 6 engine in it. It sounds amazing out of the box. It offers great fuel consumption, which isn't any worse than Golf R or Audi S3, which I would consider the main rivals for this car. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So like I said, 2.5 years, and this car makes me smile every time I'm driving it. That tells everything. It's brilliant. It wasn't expensive, not as expensive as Golf R or Audi S3, and I think it was perfect choice. So thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support, so please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.